So we're now down to the final two games of the round robin of the Memorial Cup. And I know it's been a while since I posted a video. It's been a little hectic here at our place, especially with young kids here and the beautiful weather, trying to be out and about, while also following along with what's going on in the world of hockey. So I want to do a bit of a video talking about where we're at the Memorial Cup in Saginaw. Tonight, we have the Moose Jaw Warriors taking on the Drummondville Voltigeurs, so a lot on the line in that game. And also the London Knights and Saginaw Spirit. The rivalry will resume tomorrow night at the Dow Event Center. And what's fascinating about this tournament is how the two OHL teams have perfect 2-0 records so far. And this is only the fourth time in Memorial Cup history that the two representatives from the Ontario Hockey League are perfect after two games. The last time that happened, that was in 2017 when the Windsor Spitfires were the hosts of the Memorial Cup. They were 2-0 in that tournament, and also were the Erie Otters when they met in the Wednesday before the championship weekend. So this doesn't happen a lot, where you see the two teams from the host league are perfect 2-0 going into the final game, and it just means so much is on the line, because tomorrow night the winner will advance to the Memorial Cup final. So that will be either the London Knights or the Saginaw Spirit. And the London Knights, they have played a perfect game in the playoffs. Their only two losses came against Saginaw in the Western Conference Final. So for the Saginaw Spirit, if you're a fan of the Spirit, you know your team is capable of defeating the London Knights, but it's going to take a lot of effort, as the Saginaw Spirit have given up leads, but they've also had to come back in their games against Drummondville and Moose Jaw. So we'll see what team is out on the ice, but it has been, I'm sure, for Saginaw fans, reassuring seeing Oak back between the pipes for Saginaw. So it's going to be a fun game tomorrow night. So whoever wins the game between Saginaw and London, automatic berth in Sunday's championship game, while the loser will play in the semifinal game, which will take place Friday night in Saginaw. So that means for tonight, it's a winner-take-all game between Moose Jaw and Drummondville, and the winner of the game will then play the loser of tomorrow night's game. Simple as that. So it is unfortunate for Moose Jaw in their first ever trip to the Memorial Cup that they're in this position where it's win or go home, still looking for their first win at the Memorial Cup, but still quite the experience for this Moose Jaw team. And they did put up quite the fight in their game last night, but we'll see what they're able to do going forward. Drummondville, of course, they are 0-2 as well, and they're trying to continue the Quebec Maritime Junior Hockey League streak of Memorial Cups, because they've won the previous four tournaments from the Q. So they're looking to make it five in a row. Well, for Moose Jaw, looking to be the first team from the Western Hockey League to win the Memorial Cup since the 2014 Edmonton Oil Kings. So a bit of a drought from the Western Hockey League, but it all comes down to tonight. Who is going to advance to the semifinal, Drummondville or Moose Jaw? Put your thoughts down below, and who do they play in the semifinal? Will it be Saginaw or will it be London? Either way, there's been so much drama at the Memorial Cup. It's been a lot of excitement for junior hockey fans, and it's sure to continue over these next few days. And also, I just wanted to note here, it was pointed out in my Memorial Cup preview video that I had a bit of an error. I mentioned that it's been since 1998 since the last time an American team hosted the Memorial Cup. And in the video, I said Portland, when it was Portland who won that Memorial Cup. It was the Spokane Chiefs who are actually hosts of that tournament. So just want to thank those who are watching the video and were able to point that out, because I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'm going to miss something, or I'm going to misread something and then post it. And it's it comes in the territory. You gotta fact check, and you have to be confident with what you're saying. And obviously, I missed that little tidbit there, that the 1998 Memorial Cup was in Spokane, Washington, and not Portland, Oregon. Just putting it out there. We do have a couple of news items to touch on. Going into the weekend, London Knights forward Kaleb Lawrence signed his 3-year entry-level contract with the Los Angeles Kings. So a big congratulations going to Lawrence. He was originally selected in the 7th round of the 2022 NHL Entry Draft by the Kings. He started his OHL career with the Owen Sound Attack before being moved last summer to Ottawa. Of course, he's in his overage season this year, so he was a part of the overage scene with the 67s, and then ahead of the OHL trade deadline, ended up being moved to the London Knights, as they had a void there and they wanted to have a big centerman on their roster. And boy, oh boy, has that addition paid off for this London Knights team. And you look at this season, Lawrence, he's a big body, 6'7", 229 pounds. And early in his career, he had some issues finding the back of the net. He had that net front presence where he'll go to the net to try and cause the traffic. He also had that physical style. But the one complaint from fans out of Owen Sound often was if he could only put the puck in the net more often. And he did just that in his overage season, splitting time between Ottawa and London. Ended the season with 20 goals, 17 assists, 37 points in 58 games of action. So his best offensive output in his OHL career, and he's been rewarded as the LA Kings signing him to that contract. So congratulations to Lawrence. And also to note, we're almost done the month of May. Believe it or not, we are around the corner from the summer months, June, July, and August. And with that in mind, teams can now start preparing to make some trades. The OHL June trade window, it's about to open. And last year, we saw the Barrie Colts make a couple of big moves during the month of June. That's where they picked up Bodie Stewart from Saginaw and Riley Patterson from the Flint Firebirds. So these June trades can have a big impact on rosters going into next season. So keep an eye on these next few weeks. I'll be posting videos whenever there is a trade, or if there are any trades. I'll put a video here to let you know what's going on with your team. And last season, for the month of June, there were 6 trades in total. And then you look back to 2022 rather, there were 11 trades. So the month of June, that trade window can be busy, and we'll wait and see what we have in store next month. So that June trade window about to open, and then it'll close for the month of July. And then ahead of training camp at the end of August, the trade window will be back, and that's where teams will make a few more adjustments as they prepare for the 2024-25 OHL regular season. And I also just wanted to end on the news about the OHL commissioner search. Since the start of the season, we've been waiting to see who would be named the next OHL commissioner, because David Branch, he is expected to retire after 45 years of calling the shots for the Ontario Hockey League. He has seen so much change in this league. He's seen expansion, rule changes, and just being able to adapt as this league moves forward. And also the exposure of the league has continued to grow year over year. So David Branch has done an amazing job, but all good things must come to an end. And we were under the impression that this would have been Branch's last season as commissioner, but Mike Farwell from the OHL podcast, he mentioned that there's a possibility that Branch might be staying on a little bit longer. It's a lot of people were expecting, once the Memorial Cup wrapped up, that the OHL would then find out who would take over as the next OHL commissioner. There's been some names that have floated about, but nothing has been confirmed as of yet. And with that, it sounds like the OHL might be extending their search, or they might name somebody, and then David Branch would stay on just as just to help him out with that transition between OHL commissioners. Now, I'll put this out there. I did send emails back and forth with David Branch back in March. The plan was I would have the OHL commissioner on just to look back at his 45-year career as OHL commissioner. And it sounded like we were going to have an interview, but that abruptly changed right before the OHL playoffs, which I thought was a little strange. And at the time, I was told that he was not in a position to do an interview. That's all he said, and we moved on. So take that with a grain of salt. Maybe that's when things were up in the air. I know there was also the stuff going on with the Sudbury Wolves with the Bounty Gate situation, and I know that that probably would be a touchy subject that maybe he was just not wanting to discuss at the time. I don't think I was planning to talk about it, but maybe that was a fear on his part or with the league. But either way, I was hoping to have David Branch on to do an interview, but with this news coming from Mike Farwell that maybe he's sticking on as commissioner, maybe that's why we haven't had an interview yet here on the channel. So stay tuned for that. I'll continue to try and get David Branch on here just to talk about his career. He's done an amazing job as OHL commissioner. I know a lot of people will be upset with some of the decisions that were made, especially in regards to maybe suspensions and whatnot. But still, someone to be able to do that job for 45 years, to see this league grow to what it is today, you have to give Branch a lot of credit for that. But we'll now have to wait and see, when do we find out who the next OHL commissioner is going to be. So, anyways, that's how I see it from the booth. Make sure you enjoy the game tonight. A lot of drama these next two games for the Memorial Cup. Moose Jaw, Drummondville tonight. Winner moves on to the semifinal. And then tomorrow night, London, Saginaw, with the winner moving on to the Memorial Cup Championship game. So again, thank you very much for tuning in. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe. We'll talk to you again soon.